What's up, Noah and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Just so everybody knows, this is being recorded. I'm going to post it later on YouTube. Some of our devs had that idea that some of these voice memos that we would just put them on YouTube. People can listen to them later. But this is really just a recording to cover a few things since we have so many new people in the chat. So for you guys, I know y'all been around for a while. Those of you who are in the chat right now, there's not going to be really any new information, unfortunately for you. So I won't be hurt if you bug out. But we're going to do 4 things today. We're going to talk through, number one, what actually is RugZombie, because there's a lot of people that aped into our project after our CoinMarketCap listing. They saw that and they just jumped in and they're asking all these questions in the chat, which we love to be helpful, but there's a reason that people get scammed in crypto, and it's because they don't do their research. They just ape into stuff without knowing what they're doing. So I want to explain what it is. I want to explain how do you use it, like what is the platform for. And then the third thing is going to be like security, audit, like questions about things like related to that nature, because we get a lot of questions about that. And then the fourth is the long-term plans and roadmap, and basically why you should stay around. So if you're new to RugZombie and our platform, I just want to say thanks for jumping in and trusting us. I hope we earn your trust. That's the goal, is to earn your trust over time. So what is RugZombie? Well, RugZombie started as a platform to help people receive some type of value back from being scammed and hacked in crypto. So if you have not noticed, on the Binance Smart Chain, there are thousands of rug pulled projects, and it's awful. So we started with an idea to give back to people that have been hurt by those things. Obviously, we can't just give you money for scams that you have. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. We're not a charity necessarily. Where would that money come from? So we had to be creative. And the way that we were creative about it is we allow people to exchange their rug pull tokens for NFTs. And the NFTs are not just throwaway ones. They're really good. I mean, all of them. Some of them. There's some that aren't so great, but most of them are really good. That's how we started. But we wanted to continue to create utility using these NFTs and further driving value out of them. And really bringing restoration back to people in their wallets. And so that's what it's all about. That's what we do. How do you use our platform and what is it about? Well, there's a few things that you can do. One, you can earn NFTs. So the way that you do that is in our graves. Our graves are similar to like pools on PancakeSwap or ApeSwap. And in exchange for staking your zombie, there are minimum amounts of zombie that you need to stake. In exchange for doing so, after a certain amount of time, you will generate an NFT. You have to mint that NFT once the timer has completed. And a little more about the deposits and some of the rationale, because we get questions about this. Why a minimum? Well, we wanted to avoid a scenario where somebody would stake 0.000001 zombie, like to the 18th decimal, simply just to get an NFT. That would not do that. We wanted to avoid the possibility of people manipulating our platform just to get NFTs, but not really taking on the risk of holding the token. So that was one reason why a deposit fee. Why collect rug tokens? Well, we have to find a way to verify that you've been scammed. At the same time, we didn't want to completely exclude people that hadn't been scammed by a project from the grave. We didn't want it to be easy for somebody that was not scammed by, let's say, SafeMoon, or I'm sorry, not SafeMoon. What was the other moon coin? Whatever the other moon coin was. Whatever the other moon coin was. But if you had been Fairmoon, that's it. If you had been scammed by Fairmoon, we don't want you to have necessarily be punished for not being scammed. But at the same time, we want to prioritize people that do have that token in their wallet. So there are opportunities for people to still get some of these scam tokens off the open market. Now we're going to move to hopefully a place where we're making it a lot safer for people to do that kind of stuff. And I can't really spill the beans on that, but we do have some plans in place for probably Q1 of next year to make it a little even safer so that people aren't going and buying these scam tokens off the open market. But that's for another chat. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do on our platform is we do emit a yield, so it is a yield farming platform to some degree. As this voice chat is going on, we have increased our emissions for 3 days. We've doubled them, and we had always intended to do this for about 3 days. We have like a kind of an upper limit of where we will get concerned if our token, if the burning mechanisms don't control the token. And we have an upper limit of how much in our circulating supply we'd be comfortable with. But we always intended to do this for about 3 days. And farming is not really as attractive as other farms because we can't offer, 75 zombie per block. That's just not possible. That would be unsustainable. So we actually have a really low block emission at 10 zombie per block, which means I believe there's 28,000 blocks every day, and it's not really based on the day, but I want to say it's about 280,000 zombie that are created every day, and some of those are being burned, and all sorts of things are going on, like locked in LP. So it's not that's not an exact number, but it is really low comparatively to other types of farming tokens. So you can farm, you can get NFTs. What else can you do on our platform? Well, we have spawning pools. Our spawning pools are places where you can just lock up your zombie, and in exchange for doing that, you will get an NFT, but also you'll get partner tokens. And I will say, there have been several of our partner tokens over the last month that have really taken off on the charts. So if you're just looking at it from like a financial perspective, you're getting access to some pretty cool tokens that are really crushing it right now. And we've got some really awesome partners that we love, and we recommend them. So that's really the bare bones of our project of what we're doing. There are a few other little gimmicks. I looked down. I'm not supposed to look at my phone while I'm driving, but I saw my soothing voice. That's hilarious. People are chatting about my voice. So as far as other features that maybe aren't core to our experience but will be added in, we're about to get into some new stuff with our roadmap, and maybe I'll just say that and I'll address security first, and then I'll come back to roadmap and new features that are coming. So security and audits and all that, there's a few questions people like to ask. Do you have a migrator code? We do, but it's safe ownered. That means that we cannot access it. Excuse me. We did not intend to safe owner. We intended to keep it because we wanted to we wanted to do some upgrades, but that was just kind of that was a dumb move on our part. We got a lot of blowback, especially from the community, a certain community. So we ended up just safe owning it and saying, you know what, our users, rather than give them an easy experience, will safe owner this so that we can't use the migrator code and they have to do everything manually. So makes everything a little more clunky, but at the same time, it's probably safer that way anyway. So that's about the migrator code. The second question people ask is, do you have locked LP? We do not. We're balancing our liquidity pool between Ape Swap and Pancake Swap to keep 75% of it on Ape. I don't really know where the ratio is today. It fluctuates from time to time, but we haven't locked it because we need the ability to do that because we are a build member for Ape Swap, and they require 75% of our LP to be with them. And so if we had locked our LP at Pancake, we would not have been able to participate in the project. And that we wouldn't be where we are had we done that. So we don't intend to do that anytime soon until things get balanced out. And really, I think once our project has established enough trust, people won't really care about that question. And hopefully what will happen is our users will end up providing more and more liquidity so that the ratio of what the team is providing versus what our users are providing goes substantially down. And it's not really a question or an issue. That would be my hope. So that's migrator code. You've got your LP locked. What are the other questions people ask? Have you been audited? We did a tech rate audit to launch. It's not the highest quality audit that you can get in general. They look at a few things, but we did that initially because we just wanted to make sure there was a second set of eyeballs on what we're doing. And passed with flying colors, of course. Our second audit was from HashX. HashX is the preferred partner of ApeSwap, so that's why we went with them, and we get a rebate for using them. So we're going to get, I think, half the cost remitted back to us at some point. So why didn't we go with Certic? Why didn't we go with Paladin, Watchpug? All of them are great. We could have gone with all of them. We just didn't do it because of the partnership with ApeSwap. So we loved our HashX audit. It was really thorough. They were very, very kind. They were very efficient and prompt, and we just enjoyed it. Okay, I'm trying to think of other like security or audit related questions. Like, will we get ongoing audits in the future? Of course we will. Periodically, whenever we get new code, especially if it's code that that is kind of unique, we're going to want to make sure it's not tamperable and it's not, people can't manipulate it. For simple contracts, like when we release our InstaBuy stuff, like probably not. Like there's no urgency there because that's just a direct, simple, smart contract and doesn't require minting any zombie or anything. So there would be no need to do that. So at a certain point, though, we will get periodic audits and keep upgrading. So that's like some security audit stuff. Another question people ask related to that is why a team anonymous? Well, we're not truly anonymous. I mean, we all know each other, and there's people in our community that know us personally. I mean, I probably have 5 or 6 like in real life friends that hardly know anything about crypto that are in our group. So they, rake me over the coals if I tried to do something bad. And in general, I'm a pretty normal average guy. Like I don't know, I'm not like a super whiz dev that's gonna. I don't think that you knowing who I am and seeing my public profile page is necessarily going to increase your trust in me. It might do the opposite. You might be like, ooh, that guy's a nuggo. We just don't need to do that. And then we've already received, like, I can't tell you how many countless threats and blackmail attempts and things that we've received. It's just not a good thing. So maybe if you guys start behaving better and we get less scammers in the space, we can think about it. All right, onto the roadmap. This is some stuff that you guys really want to know about. I'm sure that if you're new to the platform, what do we do? What are we doing coming up? Well, our catacombs are releasing very soon. Today, actually, it's Wednesday, I think. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Today, we are releasing an auction for our third auction piece. Over the weekend, we'll likely be releasing the Catacombs, which is a new feature of our DApp that allows users to do some really interesting things, such as we'll have an InstaBuy NFT collection where you don't have to stake for it, you can just buy them. And they'll only be found there, and they'll be limited in number, and all that jazz. We're going to have a place for you to roll for rugs. So if you do not have one of the tokens that you need in order to access one of the graves, we will create a place for you to roll for them. So that's pretty cool. We're also going to be listing a direct black market where people can list the rugs that they have and set a premium price in Zombie. And we know that you could always go to the open market to buy them, but for those that want to remain safe, you can get them there. And eventually, we can't really uncover we're laying the groundwork for something we're building later on with that. So that's the Catacombs. And then after that is the high holiday season called Burnsgiving. This is the high holy holiday for zombies where a lot of zombies get burned. So just be ready for that. There's going to be a lot of really fun stuff coming for that holiday season. And then eventually our merchandise and NFT marketplace will be released, probably pretty close together. And eventually in the new year, we'll get to the game. So that's the skinny on the roadmap. I'm going to cut off this short voice message, voice call, because there's not really a lot else I can cover without looking at my phone and compromising my driving, and I don't want to do that. So maybe I'll just make up a few questions to answer and then be done. I thought of a question that many of you might ask. Here it is. What about the minimum deposits? Our token price has gone up. What should we do about that? Well, to be honest, we always had 1 cent in mind when we had the minimum deposits. We think that the higher the deposit means that it keeps things legendary, it keeps things rare, it keeps things uncommon and common. Those are good amounts. But at the same time, we've got newcomers who maybe don't have the capital to put in that. They really want that rare zombie. Well, we've made a way for you to get some uncommon and rare and legendary NFTs. And part of that is through our basic grave, where you can upgrade your NFTs to get better and better ones and better yields. And maybe you can take those yields you're getting in the graves and roll them into a legendary or a rare grave. At some point, we will have to lower those deposits because they are, in fact, would be cost prohibitive to new users. But we're not planning to do that today. At some point, we will. Another question people ask in general is like about related to tokenomics and slippage and all this kind of stuff. We don't have slippage. This is not a degen tax 15% project. You just go and buy it, and you set your slippage tolerance based on the market, based on the liquidity, right? So you can use Pancake Swap with regular amount of slippage there. You don't need to have 10% or anything. So that's all I got. I'm pulling into my office here in a sec, so I'm just gonna hop off the chat here. But thanks for listening, guys.